All right, orange tractor fans. Remember the little CiAllis? Well, we just can't leave her sit here forever. We got to do something. So we're going to try to start putting her back together right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver, man. I'm trying to look over the... Okay. I don't remember what I've done and what I haven't done to this poor little thing. I do know that I dropped the gas tank and now it appears that it has a dent in it, which really ticks me off, but it might have had part of that before. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, in our last installment of this, I don't remember how long ago it was. It was a long time ago. But the last installment we did was putting the carburetor together. And so that's where we're going to start. We're going to bolt the carburetor on here because I don't want it to get dirt in it and end up ruining our life. So that's what we're going to do first. And I have to remember, well, I didn't remember to get the rubber thing yet. I haven't had time to get a piece of hose, but this is loose. So I think I'm going to just leave that loose for now because it is so close, you can't, there ain't no room, friends. I mean, that piece of rubber is like this long. So you're going to have something loose to help you be able to get that together. But that's what we're going to do. So where to put you? I don't know. Let's go for the up shot. Okay, well, I noticed right away that we got an issue. The old gasket is stuck onto that. So we got to get that off of there. Now, do you think that we have the correct stuff to do that? Probably not. Probably not. Well, it did come off of there. Didn't come off pretty, but it came off. I thought I bought, when I did that Ferguson, I thought I had bought a scraper with a razor blade in it. Now the question remains, what did Ross do with that? Because I don't think I actually used it on that one. I think I just ordered it, and I had borrowed theirs. The store let me borrow one to finish my job. So maybe I need to try to go get that. I think I know where I put it, but that really needs to be clean if we want any kind of success here. It really hurts me that this is, I hate that this has gone on this long, and I'm just looking her over to see all the stuff because I don't remember what I've done and haven't done. It's been so long, and it looks like I have not put the tighten the bolts that hold the radiator down, and I'm not sure why. Why haven't I done that? Because that could be done, and then this sheet metal piece goes over it. I'm getting sidetracked. See, you like how that is? Unless I didn't do that because, oh man, I don't remember. I thought I just slid it over the crank. See, I'm getting sidetracked. We're working on the carburetor, dum-dum. Focus! Focus on the carburetor. There's a lot about this tractor that frustrates me, and you're seeing it right now. Like, for instance, why would they design it so close here where it rubs? I don't know. Okay, let me go grab that scraper thing, and then we'll try to make this happen. All right, are you still there? Because that turned into an ordeal. I could not find said piece that I supposedly bought, so I had this other one in the pickup, the carbide scraper, so I guess we'll use that. It'll work good. It's just, maybe it was meant to be, because this is actually making an easy work of this. All right, I think that's pleasant. I think that's gonna work for us. We've got our carburetor right here. I also wonder, we need to look at the parts book. Is this supposed to have a spring on here somewhere? There is a spring over there, but I wonder what that was. It almost seems like that was a spring hole. So, I don't know. And then also what I need to do, which I'm not going to be able to do easily, is cotter pin. I wasn't thinking on that to bring along. Let's get it mounted on there. Let's see. Let's put you like that. That's a nice cool view, right? This thing is just so compact. I don't know. I mean, it's frustrating, friends. That's what I'm telling you. Let's see if maybe putting the bolts through first would be the right thing to do. Put those through. I don't think that this thing could jump out even if it doesn't have a clip on it. See, that's going to be way up higher, so that's going to eliminate. I was worried about it hitting the alternator we put on, but I think that, didn't we have it on there and we ran it since then? Since we made that mod, I thought we did. And I think that the it's kind of an optical illusion here, but when it's on the tractor, that's up a lot higher than everything, because that's got such a long arm on the carburetor, so it won't hit anything, I don't believe. And if it does, what we might have to do is, and we may be able to do it with the one that's on there, we might have to tighten the belt a little bit, or get a longer belt to keep it out of the way of that, if it looks like it causes trouble. But I don't think it will. I think it's going to be fine. It's just one of them things you got to pay attention to whilst you're doing this, because it really would not be a nice time if it wouldn't be a nice time if your governor doesn't work, is what I'm saying. So you gotta watch. Okay. Hard to get to, but that might partially be because you're sitting there in the way. That's okay. We're gonna get it. Steering rod adds a level of difficulty, but it's okay. Carburetor is mounted. It just needs a cotter pin through the hole, which you can't even see anyway or hardly get to. So that is excellent. We'll table that discussion for another day. I guess it could jump out of there, couldn't it? So we do need to get one, probably post haste. But at least we got the hole plugged up now. And I got the choke closed so that it should be, we should be pretty good. The next thing we're gonna do, I'm trying to determine what, I don't even remember, like I said, I don't remember what we've done and haven't done, and the order of things, and what we need to do. But I'm thinking that I want to put this radiator and nose down, and so I need to tighten those bolts, which I'm not understanding why I didn't do that before, because I don't think that that affects putting this other piece on. I think I have to slip it over the crank, pull it up and over, and get it on top of there. And I don't know why I didn't do that. I guess I thought I was waiting for tightening. I know I have to tighten those first, but I guess I was thinking that I had to put that on somehow first and go, and you can't. You have to do this first and then put the orange piece on. So oh, and then I have all this other garbage stuck in here that's a mess That goes to our shutters, and that has to be done after. See our radiator shutters that we worked on again and again, and now they appear to be stuck. We got to take them. We might as well make sure they work, even though we'll have to take this back off again. But you screw it all the way one way, and then that's what opens them. Screw it the other way, and that's what closes them. Yeah. They're spring-loaded to the closed position, is what I'm getting at. And then this thing just cranks them open as such. And when you're done, they're supposed to spring closed. They're kind of stiff in the cold, but that's understandable. There we go. All right. Let's get the long extension and socket wrench in that and see if we can't get down through those holes and tighten those up. I don't think that's the way I took it loose, but now that I see that, maybe we can make it happen somehow. I don't know. Will this go? No, it won't. Okay, so the question remains, I did use a wrench to put those on. And the question is, why would they put the holes if the holes are not functional in any way? Just so you can see what you're doing and be sad about it, I guess, is why they did that. But that's what I was thinking. I was thinking you couldn't go from the top, but I wasn't sure why. Unless, there's one more thing we can try. Unless you are able to put the socket on and then stick the extension in it. That might be possible. Will this go down in there? No. I was working on the premise that maybe you could do that, but you can't. So that's not a happy time. The other not happy time is looking behind me and seeing that that scraper I was wanting was right there the whole time. That's fine. But the first thought, of course, is ratcheting wrench. But I'm afraid that I went down that road and it wouldn't work. I was thinking there wasn't enough room to get the head in there of that. So then it becomes the type of deal where maybe like a 12-point box end would be what we want. Well, let me go see what I can come up with. I'd love to use the ratcheting wrench. This one doesn't work anymore though, as previously discussed. I need to figure out if I can trade that somewhere, or I just need to go online and buy another one so I have one. But we're gonna try to get that in there somehow. I don't know why they made it that way. They could have just as easily made it where you could get through the holes, you know? That kind of stuff just frustrates me. And it frustrates me even more that they put them there so you could see it. But then, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna try this. I've got this ratcheting wrench, which, of course, now it's not gonna fit there because of steering arm. Oh, okay, that is open all the way, so that's handy. At least that's one thing they did right. I was thinking it was two separate channels. We got to get them screwed down a little bit more, and then we can get that. Also, it would really be helpful if this was not right in the way. That would give me more room. Let's decide which way to go. Maybe we'll turn it more that way. It steers pretty easy, really, for something. Of course, it doesn't weigh anything. I mean, the front of this is almost nothing. Okay. Now, I really should be about a foot shorter to the ground so I could actually see what's taking place. However, that really sucks to sit on the ground in the winter. So, what do I have that would be handy for such situations? All right, we've got the mouse-ridden carpet remnant. That's gonna do what we want. Let's use that to get ourselves closer to the ground. Or not. Oh, disgusting. I mean, is it mouse ridden? I don't know, but it's possible. This part here, I think, is why I put off working on this tractor, because it's so miserable. Like sitting here a quarter turn at a time. Seriously, tractor? I mean, that's what did it for me. I like to make some progress, you know? And I'm liking the sun shining on me, but it's also causing me trouble where I can't really see what I'm doing. I was hoping to get it screwed down enough where I could get this ratchet on there. Let's work on this one too. That one's going to prove to be difficult because of the steering arm. It seems loose though. It seems like we ought to be able to somehow get our hand in there and get that going, but we just can't do it yet. It probably doesn't help that everything's cold. You know, any residual grease or oil as thick as can be. And that's, see, will this go on there now? Switching back to the other one because I'm not making any progress. I think it is working. It's hard to tell if the thing is ratcheting every time now. I think it is. You're taking a lot of hits on this, but that's okay. We're getting tight, or is it just... I think it is. All right. One. Now this one is going to be harder for a while because the steering arm is in the way. I guess I should have turned the wheels the other way, maybe? Would that have helped? I'm going to give that a try. If I can get out of my cocoon of carpet here. Well, that kind of helped a little. Maybe. I thought it would. But it doesn't look like it is. Looks like we're gonna struggle bus. Struggle bus. Struggle bus. Okay. Is that enough now to do the ratcheting trick? Maybe? Come on, get on there. That's why they put the hole in there, so you can get your hand through there to help, I guess. Also to tease you, to make you think that you could do it with a ratchet. Oh, I see why. Okay, I'm the dummy. I finally see it. You could take this radiator loose, couldn't you? I bet it's got a keyhole slot in it or something, or maybe the studs stay with it. You could bolt the plate down, and then 2 bolts and put the radiator on. Okay, I get it now. That's not the way we took it apart, though, so I didn't get that. But that's, I bet, what. Then you could put your ratchet through those holes, and life would be grand. That's okay. We've been dumb before. All right. We're done on this side. I'm going to go to the other side. You're also at 1% battery, so I should probably switch now before you die. All right. Second verse, same as the first. We'll get this done, and then we should be able to put the nose piece on, which then, in turn, should let us be able to put the rest of the sheet metal on, fuel tank, and we can just work our way back and hopefully get this done, because it's been apart too long. All right. These might actually be down enough to have you in the way too much, but we're getting it, friend. We're getting it. All right. Done. Come on, get in there. Save us the headaches. Wow. We accomplished that in almost no time at all. That's unbelievable. It's coming together, friends. There's no reason why I couldn't have done this months ago. Oh well. Poor little thing. It's getting a better life. It's taking it a while. I'm looking over some stuff though. The tractor hasn't run, really. It's just sat. And it's already made a trail here out of there. So I'm wondering if that gasket to the block is leaking or whether it was running around the filter. I also don't remember. I don't think we changed the oil in it yet, did we? Or did we? Maybe we did, and I just painted and got paint on that filter. No, I don't think so, because that's not a filter number I would have used. I don't think we did that yet. We ran it for a very limited time, and then we took it all apart. And we need to undo our stupidity on that and put it back together. And then we could maybe get us a gasket for that oil filter housing and clean that all up and put that back together. I think that's just a cork gasket. So that is not the best, but that's what they are. I'm pretty sure. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe now they're gasket material. I can't remember. But that's something, obviously, that needs attention because it's made a mess. We need to get another coil for it because, like I said, this thing's had like 7 coils put on it, and every time I needed one, I'd rob it off of this. So, poor little feller. All right, now for this misery. I think that I stick the crank through the hole, and then I just try to get it up where I can hang it over this. And then somewhere there's hardware for this tractor, but I have no idea where that is anymore. So we might be having to get all new stuff. I'm not sure. I just know that. Does the crank come out? No. It does. That's what I thought. I thought it came out in some way. Again, this is... Why am I not remembering this? I thought that this... No, that goes there. Okay. It's coming back to me now, friend. I couldn't remember how it went. It goes up and over. That. And then this curls down somehow underneath. And it's not doing that. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, down. Well, that wasn't as hard as I thought that it was. It was kind of hard, but not really. That's got to be... Okay. That's going to be fine. That's going to be fine. We got to find some hardware here, which I don't know why that didn't go. We got to get this back together, which that's not going to go. I don't know if I can see what I'm doing. There. This ain't no beauty queen, friends, but it's not rusty, and that's what I'm after. I like stuff cleaned and painted before you put parts back on top of things. So that's why I do what I do. It's probably not something that you like or wouldn't do yourself, but I don't care because this isn't yours. I guess it could be for the right price, but... Oh, is it stuck now? That would be the final, thrill to this story, would be that I let it sit long enough that it stuck. I just turned it over though, I thought. I don't think I had it in all the way. not stuck. It's just cold, and it doesn't want to play nice in the cold. Also, is it in gear? I don't know. We got so many issues to deal with in life. Yeah, it's fine. It just needs a little... It needs a little heat. A little warm weather. Okay, well, that was fun. We're getting there, though. Before we get carried away, let's put the, let's try to put this in there. Are we going to be able to do that? I don't know, because this is just so tight in there. I really need like a very, a needle nose, a very fine needle nose would probably do it. Which I obviously don't have here. So, we're probably just going to struggle bus it. Should I take the carburetor back loose? Isn't that foolishness, friends? To take something loose you just had loose? When you could have just went and found it. I think that's what I'm going to do, because we all know that if I don't, we're just going to struggle the whole time. We may have to take it loose again, because if that's supposed to be a spring somehow, I mean, I don't know. Nonsense that I didn't get this while ago. I didn't know how far I was going to go today. I kind of thought that maybe I was over it and didn't want to do this. I don't even know that I can gain anything this way, can I? I guess I can pull it away from the block. That's what I'm gaining here. Come on. Awesome. I dropped that. And now I dropped that. Great. Oh, and now a bucket fell and hit me in the face. That's... Okay. Okay, friends. We're not playing now. We're gonna get this. See, all you gotta do sometimes is just threaten it a little bit. Tell it, I'm gonna take you back to the scrapyard where you belong, and it'll just start working. It knows. It's lucky to have you. It had better participate. Alright. Well, that was a detour down the Sadness Express for no reason, wasn't it? But I feel better now, because I'm sure I would have forgot about that, and then it would have been running one time and the governor would have let it go wide open, and it would have went into the fan, which would have then pushed that into the radiator. It would have ruined that. The motor would have ran 9,000 RPM and flown apart. So it's just better to accept the limits of your stupidity and do it again the right way. I mean, that's just how life works. Come on, baby. Okay. Come on. All right. Now we can say that the carburetor is done. We have some issues though to deal with here. We're now to the point where we would be at the fuel tank, But also, I was thinking there was something else about that. These two pieces need to be put together. And I don't know why they couldn't be already. I don't know. We're just going to take it a little as we go. I wish oh, maybe it's in that, talking to myself, but that's okay. I'm the only one who will, listen to me. I think the bolts are in this. No, that's the bolts that's the stuff he sent along, and it ain't much. So, where I'm going with what I'm thinking in my brain is there needs to be some stuff for the fuel tank to lay on. And somewhere around this place, I should have a bunch of that. Because it seems like I buy that all the time. It's like exhaust wrap. But before we, this thing. Before we get that far though, we need to bolt this down. And then I guess the other thing that I was waiting on before I bolted that down was cables. Friends, cables. I need to get my wiring in order before I can put the fuel tank down. That's what it was. And the reason is because it's got to go through here and it comes out this hole and then goes on its merry way. So I can't put the fuel tank down for keeps until I get that done. Also, I need to remember how it might well be that it goes that way, but I think it goes under the center of the battery box for some reason. Also, I think it runs under through there and then into there. So the next things we can bolt down is this stuff, but yeah, we need to do that stuff. I guess that one was missing this screw, or did it get lost, or did it twist off, or did it not have one on there? It's been too long ago to remember. Got my little flap hole there. That's a good thing probably. So your battery cable is going to come out of one of them holes there, come down to the starter. And then your wires have to be able to, yeah. Up here, all we need is because it doesn't have front headlights on this one. I don't know that it was supposed to, probably, and I just don't have them. But what I'm getting at is, what wires do I need? That's what I'm trying to tell you. The only wire that it really has is a hot wire for the coil. It's got a wire for the coil to turn that on and off, and then it's got a heavier battery wire that runs up along there and goes into the box for your charging, and then the other side needs the wires for the charging. So it does have some wires for that. So I'm thinking in my mind right now, like, how many wires do I need? And could I just use trailer wiring, except for the battery wires? That wouldn't work very good. But I would need at least probably 2 wires to the alternator, unless that is a 1-wire alternator, which I don't know that it is. It's a Chinesium alternator that we got from somewheres. But maybe I ought to prepare it in case it was original. It would need 2 wires plus the hot wire to the battery, and then 1 wire for ignition. So I don't know. I'm going to think on that one. I also need to gather appropriate hardware for this, because it very obviously it needs everything. Whatever I took out of there is either long gone, and it was probably mismatched junk anyway. So we got to do that. But I think that was another stumbling block to me, or hold up, was I now need to do the wiring before I go any further here, because it needs to be up out of the way. So I'm just trying to sort out in my brain what I need, and I think I can do it fairly easily. I just have to hunt it all the stuff up that I have. Also, somewhere in this rig, when we're done, the choke rod goes. I don't remember quite how that goes. It's laying here, but it goes in there somewhere, and I don't remember where that is. It comes through there, and then it comes up along. I guess it goes in this. Is that the only thing that holds it? I don't know. We'll figure that out, but I'm happy with the progress I made here, because that's stuff that needed to be done. I mean, we got the carburetor on, we got the front end bolted down other than the sheet metal piece, but we got to find bolts for that. If I set this, let's just set this on here for now for looks, and sort out how that's going to go. See, that's going to match up with that when all that's tight, which it's not. Then there should be a strap. See, that's what we're doing here too, is we're trying to remember what goes where. There's my gloves and a rag. Okay. Boy, that's great fitment, isn't it? Great fitment. No, it needs to be a little bit. Yeah. So those two bolt there. That one looks like it doesn't. I wonder what this hole was. Was this the hole where your headlight would bolt if you had it? It seems like an awful small hole, but it seems like that's like a 1/2 inch bolt. I'm gonna have to go on the internet and look that up, but I definitely need a bolt and a nut for there and there. And then there's one that's threaded up into there on each side. These two are threaded into the shroud, so we'd have to go. We had a problem with the muffler, as I recall, and I don't remember how I don't remember how I was gonna go about making that right. I didn't get one that had the long piece or something. You know, this one is made to go like through the hood, and I don't have that style. I have the style where this piece is supposed to be longer and go down into the manifold, I believe. So we're gonna have to investigate that. Enough time has passed that I'm probably not angry about it anymore, that I don't have the right thing, because that is a very real situation that occurs. There should be a strap, though, that goes over this hood, right? And bolts that fuel tank down. And I don't see it. There's the fuel line we made. So hopefully that's still a thing. So we'll need that. There it is. Okay, not painted, but yeah. That'll go there and take care of that. So we just need to do some hardware work, friends. Make it a little bit better than the way that it is. When stuff sits so long, you got to take inventory to remember what you had going. There's a switch I got for headlights, I guess, unless I ordered that for something else. There's an exhaust flapper for That's great. That's rusty now. Okay, well, that can probably be used. That is going to go into that box, I believe. On my kitchen table, I have a gauge. I know that. Then I need an on-off switch for the power, which I think I have somewhere, or I'll get one. That's no big deal. I need to get something that will fit in the box, because the box isn't that big, friends. I mean, you get a little, that's all the room you get. So, I don't know. You got to make sure whatever you put in there doesn't hit the back wall and arc her out. But this stupid thing has been tearing my coat every time I go by it. And now it might be a good time. This one in front does it too. It's probably done it more. It won't come out, but this one pulled out today. So I think I'm going to swap that for a... Let's just do this. Oh, that's froze to that. Well, that's cool. Is this too much? No, I think that'll go, won't it? Let's find a appropriate striking tool. Namely, a ratchet. Alright, see if we can make this more better. Or not. Ouch. That's not pleasant. Well, that's a little better. That won't catch as bad. I need to work on getting that front one out. Fix that. But I think we're at a good stopping point. We haven't accomplished much, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But we got a carburetor bolted on, and we've refreshed our memory good to know the stuff that we need to hunt up again. We need to hunt up another coil, because it's been robbed again. And then we need to be, our next affair then, if I get that, we need to work on our wiring. So we need the coil, wiring. We need to find our exhaust wrap so that we can lay it underneath the fuel tank appropriately, which I'm sure I have some of that around here, because I don't think I would have used it all up last time. I used it on that 550 of that customer's when he had something. What did I buy it for? Oh, I wrapped his fuel line in it finally, because it was getting to where when the tractor was mowing, it got too hot and vapor locked it because it was boiling the gas in the gas line. So I got some for that and wrapped it around. So there should be some left over somewhere from that. Otherwise, I'll just buy more because I use it all the time. So coil, exhaust wrap, wiring, some type of on-off switch, which I might have that too if I just dig. And then we have like the light switch. If we put lights on it, we need to look on the internet and see what our choices are. I think they go in those two holes. And if they do, I might just go ahead and get some. And then we'll run wires, or at least we'll run wires up there somewhere so we can get it to where it needs to go. So that would be that. So that switch, I know, I was just trying to think of what else. I don't have gauge. I have a gauge for it. That's the only one. The other two are mechanical gauges. The water gauge goes in the radiator, which we'll need to run the tractor to make sure that works. And then the oil pressure gauge is on the back of the filter housing. We're going to need to get us a battery cable that's long enough to go, hot cable that goes through there and then up to here. And I don't know. That's another thing I don't know. We need to look at. Yes, there's enough room for it to go down through the hole right there, I think. Right? It seems like that's right, but then it also seems like then where would your battery go? Because it would need to sit on top of there. Oh, So what it's going to do probably is go through here, and then it's going to jump through there and then go down. That's what it does. It would have to, because, yeah, that would make more sense of the way that stuff goes. So positive battery cable, negative battery cable, because that one ain't crap. And is that loose? No, that's not. I don't think that bolt's loose. We'll have to work on that, because that also, the battery cable that's on here is bolted to the bolt that the battery box bolts to. And so basically next time our big struggle bus is going to be wiring. Here's our old battery cable, which is actually probably a newer battery cable, but I don't like that thickness of battery cables. If you're going to put a battery cable on, put you a nice healthy one on there, because that just makes a struggle for you when you're trying to start stuff. But I think that's what we're going to do. And then, like I said, hardware, we need to hunt up some stuff. And I don't remember what happened to that bolt that goes in here. I was thinking those were a special bolt, but I don't think they are. Like I said, all these are pretty well toast. All this garbage. He gave me that can full of rusty stuff when I got it. And actually, I don't think it was in that. I think I switched it to that can. It was in something else. I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna make it the best it can be, possibly, for functionality's sake. So I guess we'll leave this one here. Maybe this wasn't interesting, but I did get my carburetor bolted on, so that should stay clean. And then we can pick this up. I'll try to gather supplies, and if we get another warmish day, I can be tinkering on this, and we can get this maybe where it's a runner again. We do need to drain the... I put the wrong oil in the rear end, and everybody yelled at me, and I didn't even think of that because I didn't have a book at the time. But I put gear oil in that, and I guess it's supposed to be like high trend, because it sucks the oil out of there to run the hydraulic lift, which last time I couldn't get it to work, but I didn't have the PTO engaged, and you have to have that on, I think, for the hydraulics to work. So yeah, it's coming together, friends. It just takes a little bit, and you know, pretty soon we're gonna have some CiAllis. That's all I got to say. So until next time, we're going to leave this one here. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.